Set goals that stretch your faith, but remain attainable through God's strength. That means that we don't overstretch ourselves. We don't bite off more than we can chew. We allow God, we speak to God about certain decisions and things. And fellas, it just could be a career. It could be ministry. It could be parenting. It could be marriage, right? When you go out and you set these goals, don't overstretch yourself and don't operate outside of your faith. And make sure that the goals are attainable. Bite off small chunks. Sometimes we want to jump right in and we want everything that we want, when we want it, and how much. And it becomes unmanageable. At some point in time, you burn out or you just don't stick with it because it was never an achievable goal. Hey everybody, welcome to the B0LD Lounge. I'm Ray Ramos, where we believe, overcome, lead, and deliver. I'm just excited to just have another day to witness and just see all that life has to offer. As we are on this journey, each and every one of us on our individual journeys, it's a blessing that we wake up every day to be new versions of ourselves today than we were yesterday. We want to always strive to be better and do better. But today I want to target the men a little bit. I want to talk to the fellas a little bit. And on the faith side of it, I want, as men of God, we're not called to wander aimlessly through life, right? We are called to seek God's direction, walk in his purpose, and be intentional with the gifts, talents, and opportunity that he entrusts us with, right? And so when we get up each and every day, we want to keep that in mind. And here's a thought for today, right? What are your goals and aspirations as you travel this journey called life? I'm going to say it again. What are your goals and aspirations as you travel this journey called life? Scripturally, the Bible says in Proverbs 29:18, where there is no vision, people perish. And that's even applicable to those of us who aren't spiritual, right? What is your vision? What is your purpose? What are you doing about it? Do you set up a vision board for yourself? Do you journal on the things and the thoughts that you have in your mind so that you can put a clear perspective as to what direction you're going, and you're just not surviving. You're just not waking up every day and not taking and seizing the opportunities that lie before us. Because before we know it, sometimes we're wasting seconds, we're wasting minutes, we're wasting hours, days, weeks, years, months, because we have no purpose and direction. So, vision gives us a direction. Purpose gives us meaning. Discipline turns dreams into reality. So vision gives us the purpose. We can see it. Spiritually, we can feel what God is calling us to. We know that he has designed us for a certain task, a certain purpose. And so we can see it and we start to move in that purpose, because the purpose gives us the meaning as to the why. The why is important in everything we try to do. And then there's the discipline part. Discipline turns dreams into reality. That means getting up every morning. I get up, I journal, I pray, I read a word, and I'm intentional about it. That's discipline. That's saying each and every day, I'm going to get up at this particular time and I'm going to dedicate time to being with God. I also do it throughout other parts of the day, but I'm intentional and I'm disciplined that I'm going to do this on a continual basis. And discipline is important because without it, we just kind of flail. We don't really stick with it. We're not in it for the long haul. So here's something to ponder. And I saw this quote and I thought, man, this is really powerful. The world makes way for the man who knows where he's going. But even more importantly, God makes a way for the man who seeks his will. So it's one thing about what the world is saying. The world makes a way for someone who, puts their mind and puts their hands to the plow and, knows what direction or what career they may want to go into. But spiritually, it's even more important because God makes a way for us men who seek his will, not our will. That means that in the world, we think that we're in control, that we get certain things or we obtain certain positions because it's on our own strength. But it's only until we get into our spirituality that we understand it is God. God opens doors, God closes doors. God is the one who makes the way. So whatever success or purpose that we have, we got to understand that we give him the glory because he's the one that puts it in motion, not us. And when we try to operate outside of that, when we listen to what the world is telling us, man, your brother, you're great, man. You're a great speaker, or you're a great motivator, you're a great mentor. First things I want to do is say, well, give all thanks to God because he's the one that implanted that into my very existence. And there's a word again in Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. It says, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct your path. So that just summed up what I was just saying. He gets the glory because he's the one that puts things in motion. He's the one that created us for a certain purpose, a certain mission. And it's for us to find out what that is. And we only find that what it is men when we get in tune with our spirituality and not be consumed by the things of what the world tells us. And as you think about your goals, remember they should be, and I'm going to give you a few points, they should be written. And I told you I journal, write the vision and make it plain. Write the vision and make it plain. It could be a, a, a board that you put together or a calendar that you arrange. One of the good tools is to keep yourself disciplined and accountable. Put things on a calendar so that you can see it. It's visual. When you write in a journal, you're seeing it. It's visual, right? And then the next point is personal, right? God has given each of us a unique purpose and an assignment. And we only find that when we connect to him, when we get on his frequency. When we're on the frequency of what the world thinks and what the world wants, then we find ourselves in utter chaos and confusion. If you don't believe me, just look at the world in which we live in now. Then there's achievable. Set goals that stretch your faith, but remain attainable through God's strength. That means that we don't overstretch ourselves. We don't bite off more than we can chew. We allow God, we speak to God about certain decisions and things. And fellas, it just could be a career. It could be ministry. It could be parenting. It could be marriage, right? When you go out and you set these goals, don't overstretch yourself and don't operate outside of your faith. And make sure that the goals are attainable. Bite off small chunks. Sometimes we want to jump right in and we want everything that we want, when we want it, and how much. And it becomes unmanageable. At some point in time, you burn out or you just don't stick with it because it was never an achievable goal because you operate on your own thinking. You say, I got it. And that's the worst mindset to have because you set yourself up for failure. Also, make sure that it's measurable. What gets measured gets managed. That means the same thing I said. You're putting everything in perspective. You're not going on the cart before the horse. You're not taking on more than you can bear, right? And you're measuring where it is you want to go, but you're also managing it. You're understanding that I'm going to take one step at a time. I'm going to do one thing at a time. And today I'm speaking to both of us who are spiritually connected, and there's some people listening right now, they're not there yet. So I'm trying to bring in both to help you understand how God's plan and God's design makes everyday living applicable if we put our faith and our trust and our hope in him. And then there's time sensitive. Don't wait for someday. The time begins right now. Don't put off for tomorrow what you can start working on today. Start working with the little things. It could be, like I said, it could be a discipline. It could be your workout regimen. It can be the time that you spend reading God's word and understanding it and making it applicable. And whatever it is that God designed for you, don't hold back. Sometimes we hold back because we want to say, well, I don't think I'm ready yet. It's not, the time's not right. I don't think I'm good enough. No. And that's why the spirituality is so important. because when you allow God to be in the equation and go to his word, it gives you the boldness, it gives you the confidence that you need to move in and through these goals that we set for ourselves. So, my prayer for the men listening to this is that, each of us would seek God's vision for our lives. Write it down, pursue it with diligence, and trust him to guide every step. And that's a big thing for men. Trust. Whatever past pains or disappointments have come onto us, we have a hard time trusting, and that only stunts our growth. If we can't trust God, then how are we going to get into a relationship and trust a significant other? That's a big factor. So I want you guys to really understand that. Pursue with diligence. Trust him to guide your steps. So today I just want you to be blessed, be purposeful, and remember, God is not only interested in where you are today, he is preparing you for where he is taking you tomorrow. So whatever failures, whatever disappointments, whatever things that have not come your way, maybe someone hasn't given you a position yet, or maybe you haven't found a ministry yet. That doesn't mean that we give up. That doesn't mean that we quit. That just means that we have to keep pursuing. And there's other things that we need to get in line and get in order so that when these doors open, these opportunities open, we're prepared and we're ready. So have a blessed day, people. My brothers, stay up. Commit your works to God, and your plans will be established. It's said that in Proverbs 16:3. Commit your works to the Lord, and your plans will be established. So the common denominator here, guys, is begin to tap into your spirituality as men. We need it. We need accountability partners. We can't also do this alone. You have to have someone that is going to pour into you, is not going to be a yes man, is going to challenge you, because two are better than one. We cannot go through things trying to figure it out for ourselves and think that we have it in control. Being subjected to our own thoughts can be a hindrance, because then those little seeds get planted of doubt, of shame, of resistance, untrustworthiness. Those things, when you're trying to do things on your own, can be a stumbling block, right? Even in marriage, right? It talks about the bond between two people, but what holds the two people together is the third strand, which is God. Because when you guys are not communicating on the same level, or you have some challenges, of course you must communicate with one another, but then you must see where God says and what God says and how you are to handle that situation. With parenting, the same thing. Our kids will challenge us, but we know statistically that when men are absent, the things that happen in the home with our children. So men, you're needed on the battlefield. You are the watchman, and it's time to begin the training if you haven't done so already. And if you have, to continue and to see how you can get better. See where God is leading you. It may be more than in one assignment, but until you tap in, you don't know. So as men of God, we are not called to wander aimlessly through life. We are called to seek God's direction, walk in his purpose, and be intentional with the gifts, talents, and opportunities he has entrusted to us. So as always, we want you to believe, we want you to overcome, and we want you to lead and deliver. As we continue to pour into our fan base, we will bring you content on every aspect: men, women, health, marriage, faith, hope, trust, restoration, and reconciliation. So I thank you for this time. Blessings, and I'll talk to you later.